Today is my 64th birthday. 64. You know, there's a town called 64. That is Eldoret. Eldoret is also known as 64. Today is my 64th birthday. I wanted to do two very unique things on my birthday. One, I want to spend the time talking positive. I'll avoid as much as possible. I'll avoid as much as possible talking negative about Kenyan Gen Z. So almost everything that I'll talk today will be not only about Kenyan Gen Z, but I'll be talking positive things about the Kenyan Gen Z. The second one, which is just a small part of it, is that I rarely ask people for contribution directly on video. I usually place there at Safaricom till number for somebody just to fill in. But in this rare edition of today, today I'm 64 years old. From Sunday, July 16, 1961. I'm 64 years old, and you cannot place their 64 shillings in the Safaricom till number. So I'm asking you, the viewer today, toa sadaka bwana, toa sadaka madam. 65 shillings, 65 shillings placed in that till number. In the past, I have taken views that are opposite the Gen Z. And I remember on one occasion, Gen Z really praised me. They really praised me. And the reason that they praised me was that they first of all, they went to their first picketing, of which Raila Amolo Odinga used that opportunity to enhance his personal and political ambitions. The second time the Gen Z went out, they said that I was right. Kumbe, I've been saying right. You know, Raila has a history of people, followers, who would, if you are deemed even to be talking negative about him from afar, they'll guess and they'll turn against you. They'll guess it and turn against and become very militant. So they said that Kumbe Mzee was right when he pinpointed Raila. Usually goes back and does a personal deal. I want to thank the Gen Z for praising me. They are the first people to have noticed that. Other people nowadays tell me, oh, kumbe we were wrong in attacking. Were it not for Gen Z, people would still be saying funny things about me. They would be saying, you hate Raila. They would say you hate his tribe. Well, they would say a lot of things. But nowadays I find even those people who are very hostile to me, they are very friendly to me and say, kumbe you are right about Raila Amolo Odinga. So were it not for Gen Z, people would still not believe me, and people would still say that I have issues with Raila. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the girl, I can't recall her name, who recorded herself talking to Raila, saying that you have done your part, you have played your history well. It is now time for you to rest a bit and let us, the young generation, take over. If she would not have done that, most probably, you know, every cog is important, but you see, she played a big role in exposing him that he uses national catastrophe for personal and political advancement. She has to be thanked for that. I noticed it. I noticed that immediately I joined the special branch. So I cannot say that I'm better than you or better than another person because I joined the NIS, you did not join the NIS. So me having an opportunity to, there are many things you have seen which I have not seen, and when we talk of such things, you cannot. We can only castigate people who had the same exposure like me, but kept it. But for those who didn't have the exposure like me, I cannot blame them for forming the opinion that they had. During my training, especially as a student of senior training wings of both Kiganjo and CID training school, plus special branch training school, I was taught that nobody is wholly bad or wholly good. Hmm? Nobody is wholly bad and wrong. Even if you are bad 99%, there is that 1%, isn't it? Today, as I commemorate my 64th year on earth, I have reminded myself of the many positive issues of the Gen Z. On my 64th birthday, I've reminded myself of the very many positive issues that Gen Z has brought about. When somebody is 82% bad, look at the 18% good, because everybody has a positive thing. I'm not trying to say that Gen Z are 90 or even 60 or something bad or whatever. No, but I'm saying that in every human being there is an element of goodness in him. The greatest thing or the greatest positive thing about the Gen Z is their sincerity. Is their sincerity. They're very sincere. There's no beating about the bush, not doing whatever. They just go to the point. Say we don't want this and we don't want that. For the first time in Kenya's history, we now have a group which you can never delay a topic thinking that uh, time they could forget. You see, if you look at the Kenya's problem, all the time since Jomo Kenyatta's time, political class have always come up with an idea that if there is a problem, oh, we are doing this and whatever. And when weeks turn into months, the months have not even turned into a year. The whole issue is covered. The Kenyan political history has it that we have a problem, we start a commission, we do whatever. Even right now, there is a clamor for an intergenerational discussion to try and look into the issue of tension between the police and the Gen Z. But what I know about the Kenyan leadership, I am one of the people who is for that commission. I would even offer myself to be a member of it. I would be privileged if I was offered an opportunity on the commission. But our political class, even if we are having that commission going around intergeneration or whatever, you'll find that the Kenyan political class, the Kenyan government, would want that thing to continue for 6 months. After 6 months, the commission will hand over its finding to the government. Let me avoid the name president. It will give a recommendation to the government or even to the parliament, and then we will be told that every recommendation that has been placed in that report will be every recommendation will be implemented. But in reality, it will be that every recommendation in that committee will be disregarded or ignored. Kenyans, we have been having that, and that is why we are having resistance when people talk of intergenerational discussion. Uh, what I was trying to say here is that The Gen Z have taught us, and the government, including the president, should be told that the days when you'd cheat people, let us have that commission. This commission goes around the country, does blah blah blah, comes out with a belief that after 6 months people will have moved on. I have seen, my opinion is that the only way you can make agencies forget what they want is you sit down with them, come up with a solution, and implement it as per agreed. As per agreed. Other generations, my generation included, my father's generation included, and other generations, the government has, or the government is so much used to that tactic that I would, perhaps the president should be told that you cannot use the same trick in perpetuity. They complained of a bloated cabinet, only for most of them to be rehired as special advisors to the president, doing almost nothing, but getting the very, very same perks. One day, the president should know that things may blow out of proportion. Today, the Gen Z and those, you see the opposition. The opposition is trying to befriend the Gen Z so that the Gen Z can use that, they can support them. But the Gen Z are not, people say inakuonea kwa 18. Gen Z inamuonea kwa 36. So what I'm trying to say is that if I were to meet the president, I would tell him that at least for this one time and in future endeavors, don't use the same trick all the time. If you think that you'll start a committee, if you think that you'll start people going around the country talking and whatever, then the whole thing is placed in to get dust somewhere there. One day, it may not even be this Gen Z. One day we may have a problem and you'll come out and you'll not, it may not happen during a time, it may happen in another president's time. But I want to tell you that just for once, do what you say and say what you do. Don't just say things. Think vindu vichenjanga, and they have changed so much to an extent that the Gen Z are not the type of people you'd tell them, okay, we are going to sit down, we are going to do whatever, and then after 2 to 3 weeks or up to 6 months, we move on into other things. Gen Z are the kind of people who can only forget something if it has been implemented openly. Openly. If you don't do that, expect, and this is why I'm saying that we should even be more careful, because in the future we may use the same trick, and one thing I'm happy about the current president is that there are some things he has said that it would be easy for him just to push into the next. He has made hard decisions. He has said that I don't have to take this problem to the next president and then the next president takes over another president. That would be a very easy way for him, but he has decided to take the hard choice. He has decided to take the hard choices and face and bite the bullet. That one I would say congratulations to him. So this issue of Gen Z, let him have a decision, a sit down, and what will be decided, let it be implemented. Furthermore, of all the commissions that have been there, in my opinion, these things that the Gen Zs are asking is the cheapest thing. Where apart from sitting allowance, I do not see where the government will continue that. On my part, I intend, if I'm taken to be member of that, is to have meetings with all the chiefs in the country, all the OCSs, and all the policemen who are called major. You talk to them, and then there are how many? About, you divide the country into 10 regions. So you go into one region, talk to the three chiefs, assistant chiefs, OCSs, and majors. You talk to them, then come back, and then they'll carry back there, so that these things are addressed in public rallies, barazas, and police timams. That one I can tell you, within a year you'll find police and civilians will be in good faith. This is the cheapest commission that could be there to the exchequer. But if the president thinks, and you know the president is, if you count all the presidents we have had in Kenya, I think this one is the one who is very sly. If you compare all of them put together, they cannot even reach him. We have said that Gen Z, one wrong, we have been saying that Gen Z are wrong because they always pinpointing mistakes without offering a solution. That is what I, myself, and others have been saying, that the only thing they do is pinpointing mistakes without offering a solution. I was taught in the senior training wings that identifying a mistake is a very important way to find a solution. Finding a mistake is a very good thing. Actually, if you find a mistake, they say you have that is half of the solution. It's just like in the hospital. If you go for treatment and the doctor does not diagnose your illness, then you'll die. So if somebody can be, just like I was taught in the senior training wings of the three campuses, Kiganjo, CID, and Special Branch, I would say that I was taught that finding a mistake, identifying a mistake, is half solving the problem. If we were to keep quiet because we didn't have a solution, that one should be discouraged. You should discourage the system where people keep quiet because they have no solution. If you pinpoint a mistake, a solution could be found either by someone else, or in the course of a round table, a solution can be found. Another thing that most of us say is that Gen Zs have no leader, no tribe, no political party, etc., etc. History of Kenya has shown it that if you have a leader of your tribe, political party, etc., etc., the leader would be seen aside so that he eats on your behalf. I had very early on had my sixth sense doubt about both Kasamuel and Morara Kebaso. I had no evidence, I had nothing. I just went and recorded and uploaded on my YouTube, where I showed doubts on them. Actually, I even said that Kasamuel, I'm the first person who said that Kasamuel is not today's Tomboya. Now everybody is saying that. That is why I'm saying that earlier on, my sixth sense had told me that both Kasamuel and Morara were people who were trying to place themselves in a strategic place for personal advancement. Do we still have Morara portraying or showing us roads which have not been completed? No. He opened a pay bill, people paid there a lot of money, and then he said he has gone out of politics. I am also, so that is what I'm trying to say, that we should thank the Gen Z because they have studied one thing, that in Kenya's history, we have always had people who associate themselves with that, and they laugh all the way to the World Bank, not even the Central Bank of Kenya, to the World Bank. I am also admiring the way they have been handling the problems. You don't have to be a politician or be in a political party to participate in political matters. Being a resident of Kenya is enough. That is why we have the bunge la wananchi, which bunge za wananchi, the first one which started at Jivanji Garden. They have, but the greatest thing that the Gen Z have shown is that you don't have to tell them danganya toto jinga, so that time goes and whatever. The more you forget, remember that that very same day will come back the following year. So my last thing to advise to the president is that address issues with them. That one you can do, tell them you can do. What you can't, tell them you can't. This thing of placing them under the table thinking that they'll forget